Welcome. This layout that we're going to do is called the crossroad, which is going to be a shape of a T shape. And we're going to only use 5 cards. But this is a question that you're going to ask, or if you're working with someone, a question to ask, a different way to ask a question to get more information. It's pretty fast and easy because there's only 5 cards. Okay, so we're going to start out with the cards spread out. You're going to have you or the person you're working with pick out a card. And this is the initial question. So they're going to think about the question. Okay, and I'm going to use an example on myself. And it would be the question of to get better at my meditation. So I'm going to use that question. And I'm going to pull one out for myself. And I get this one. I'm going to lay it in the middle. And I'm going to keep it face down until I get started. Then we're going to go into getting questions answered to that question of how better improve I can do with my meditation. And we're going to shuffle until you feel guided to stop shuffling. Or you can have your client separate it however way you want to do it. I would go with your intuition. You're going to hear me always say go with your guided intuition, your compass, your feelings, sight. Use all your senses. Use the senses that's the strongest. Okay? Now, what we're going to do is we're going to put 1 to the left. Then we're going to put 2 to the right. Then we got 3 down below, and then we got 4. So as you see, we've got a T shape. Okay? Now, what we're going to do is we're going to turn over the question first. And this is the reason card that is chosen. Okay? This, you can see, is an Ace of Swords. And we've got the cloud in the hand and the sword holding the crown. So basically, as I'm looking at this and looking at the symbols, it's telling me that I am taking the sword, going through the clouds, coming up, and raising my vibration to be on top of it, being the king or queen, with the hat on. And the growth that's coming down is balancing those 2 sides up for me. Now, these little flames here, it looks like a little maybe leaves or flames. Depends on how you read your card. These are telling me these are some of the emotional affects that I go through. And for meditation is keeping myself grounded. It's helping me going through the things that I need to go through. Now we're going to go to 1, and 1 is where does it come from? Okay, this is the foundation of it all. This is the king of the coin, and so basically the king is looking at the coin, and it's basically telling me where it's coming from is keeping my focus. That's what's keeping me in line, and where it's coming from. Doing it daily, getting a grip of it with the energy within one hand is what I'm saying. And, there's a lot of grapes and vines, it makes it very strong. The more that I do it, the stronger I get. I'm 1 foot down on this statue, which kind of looks between a pig and a king, a lion or a pig is what I meant. When I said king, we're talking about the king. But anyways, it's putting 1 foot down and smushing those emotions that no longer serves me anymore. So this one's really interesting. And then you have these little, to the corner, these little pink little things growing over here. And basically that symbol is telling me to be cautious of the past creeping back up and getting all into my head. And of course the king has a top on there. And then we got the bull shape looking animals on each side. Trying not to be bullheaded with the head. That mind gets in the way. And I'm just pointing out all the way I see the symbols, and I let the story tell itself. Then you got the castle is keeping that foundation of that whole flow. And that whole thing that this king's wearing, you can see that he's got this whole grapevines and keeping strong. If you've ever seen grapes with their vines, they're very strong on the bottom, even though that the vines grow. It's just very interesting because they're very tough, and they're able to live in a lot of dry soil and stuff. So that is basically telling me where I'm coming from. It's kind of sending that whole picture. Then 2, which is over to this side of the area, which is going to be the information, the direction, what's going to lead me into this. And leading this into me is seeing me in this, which I have seen this card before, with the blue covering me up, keeping my shield of my energies so that others don't affect me, even when they're really close by. We're exchanging energies at sometimes, but not being able to tap into that. Staying focused. More information. Changing the energy to connect with people that are more on the like of my energy. Now, we have the tiger, and the tiger doesn't look very happy, if you can see. When you get closer, he doesn't look very happy. And what that is telling me is the reason is being careful. Even though he has angel wings on him, basically, that look that he has is telling me, be careful of the old patterns, the sneakiness, also the types of people that I create around me, giving me that direction and information, and not tapping in to this energy as they're touching each other with their almost hands, like this person's touching you, and being aware of that. Of course, we got the house in the background with the foundation, and that gives you more information. Now, of course, even though this is just the layout, if you wanted more details and it wasn't giving you enough, you would just take your cards and shuffle and then pull out more cards. And then the next one is the third one, which is down below. And then this one here is about the death card. Now, basically, 3 is about the meaning. What does this mean for you? The important roles of your question. Death, which is the biggest card, but basically the death card is it's telling me that I'm letting go of the old stuff, old people, old relationships. The more that I meditate, the more that I don't have to keep on this armor that trying to fight against all of this energy field, old relationships, old people, thoughts and beliefs. And then we've got this whole symbol of, creating of a flower that's there. But we still have the castles in the background, seeing the sun come up. It's also telling me that the sun coming up, that I meditate better earlier, the better. So that I stand in my whole foundation area where I'm standing, and you can see that the water of the emotions are very calm and there's becoming less. So that really gives me a lot of confidence of this meaning of this doing meditation. And you can see some people are, this person laying here is dead or gone or not there or sleeping, whichever way. And that's getting rid of those relationships that I have relationships with, of people that no longer serve me anymore. And then there's those ones that you're iffy about with the head turning. And then, of course, there's a child, but that's about what my children are around with me. And then we have someone new that has their hands up and greeting and saying, hey, it's nice seeing you. So those give you some ideas with the symbols. Now we go to 4, which is up on top. And 4's, it's about the what may open up, what you can achieve because of this, what's going to end up happening after you open up and do this with the question that you have in mind, the ending results of it, possibilities maybe that you haven't been seeing. This one is interesting because here comes the red, which red coordinates with me, that he is basically all covered in red and a little bit of blue. And then in his one hand is the ball of energy. And then the other hand to me is telling me it's all about the tools. And of course we have the ram, which is going for force with your outcome. If you keep up with it, you will move past these energy fields and you will be able to create that new, because there's a whole sunset, a new beginning. And so when I'm seeing the orange and the yellow, and there's very, very little emotions. If you can see, we have very little water that's flowing through, and that's the emotions, and they're very little, which I have been trying to work on the emotions with meditation and in general in life. So, and there's just a little bit of armor on the legs. That's just to keep in check with being grounded down below, and not wearing, I don't know if you can see this, but here's the symbol right there. It's like a heart shape to me. If you basically turn it upside down, you could see the heart, which is very interesting. And that was telling me not to wear my heart on my shoulder. Don't take it personal from people, because everybody has their own thing. And then we've got the crown. And having the crown on the head is being conscious aware, knowing what my mind is doing, because his eyes are kind of going, you know, a little bit to the side. And so basically that's just saying, you know, be conscious of what you're thinking, being conscious of what you're manifesting, so that you don't get yourself in the wrong position that you don't want. Being conscious of it. And that very top of the head chakra, to basically to be able to notice that the flow of information is coming through and giving you the guidance that you need. Okay, so with this one, it's this layout is called the crossroad, because you see that it's kind of a cross. You pick out your question for the middle. You can either lay out your cards like I did, or you can just lay them out as that's the first one, however way you'd like. They give you options, so then you have this in the middle, which is your question, or, you know, the theme that you want to focus on one particular thing. Maybe you could pick relationships or work or job or money. And then we go from 1, which is where it comes from. And then we have 2 across, which is the information and the direction that you may decide to do or how to go. And then we have 3, which is the meaning of it all, the importance of it, the role for this. And then we have the last one, which is 4. And this is what may open up because of it, what the final things, the possibilities that you have. Okay, so I hope this helps you on this, to give you other ideas and other ways to do your readings. I do these videos so that you can see other ways, and you can work them on yourself first to get used to them, you know, work them on other people and see how they work for you. You may find that some spreads work better than others, and that's okay. You'll find a couple of them. I would just stay with a couple of spreads, you know, 2 to 3 spreads to get used to them, so that you can actually get better at them, and go with the flow. Use your your psychic gifts. Use your psychic gifts to know what you want to use to do your readings, and you know, don't be so hard on yourself. So I hope you enjoy. Thank you. Have a wonderful day.